Today in art, we're going to learn how to draw a snowman using perspective. We're also going to be talking about the elements of art, in particular, the element of art known as space. Space talks about how objects take up space in a composition. The elements of art are building blocks of all art. Every piece of art ever created includes one or more of these 7 elements. When we were in the classroom, I would have a poster up on our front wall, and it would look just like this, and it explains the 7 elements of art. It talks about line, color, shape, form, value, texture, and space. Space is what we're going to be focusing on today while we make our snowman. One part of the element of art known as space is perspective. Perspective is when things look smaller as they get farther away. So as the snowman gets farther away, you'll see things get smaller. And the idea that things look bigger as they get closer. As we get closer, the objects that are the closest to us are bigger. Another part of space is called overlapping. Overlapping is when an object is in front of another object to show which one is closer. In our snowman today, our bottom is going to be overlapping the second layer of our snowman. The second layer of our snowman will overlap the head, and the head will overlap the hat. That gives the impression that things that overlap each other are closer. This is the guide that I'm going to be using as I draw the snowman today. This guide will be available to you on our Google Classroom. If you remember in class, we always use pencils first to draw, because if we make a mistake with pencils, we can erase it. So I'm going to start with my first circle, half circle, and it needs to be big. So when I take my hand and I hold it up on my paper, I want my circle to be about as big as my hand. It needs to be big. Now we're going to call this a worm's eye view, as if you were down here on the ground looking up at the snowman. My second circle is going to go under this first circle and be a little smaller, because objects get smaller as they move farther away. And this circle is going to overlap or be on top. My third circle will go up here, and the second circle will overlap, and that will be his head. See how big my snowman is? It takes up most of my paper. My next step, I'm going to add some details. So I'm going to add some buttons. I'm going to add 3 buttons coming down the middle part of the snowman. My first button is farthest away. So my next button needs to be a little bit bigger than that one. And as they get closer, they get bigger. This helps give the illusion of distance. I can add other things like a scarf. I'm going to go ahead and add a scarf here. And the beautiful thing about starting with pencil, as I add things, I overlapped the scarf onto his head. That means I can't see these lines anymore. So anytime you add something, make sure you erase anything that is overlapping. There. Then I can add his hat. a semicircle on top of that. And my snowman is so big that his hat is actually going off my page. Once I'm done adding details, I am ready to add the arms. So I'm going to just come out of here with an arm. Arms look like sticks. And then I'm going to work on the face. For his nose, it's going to be a triangle, and it's going to take up a big portion of his face, and it's going to point up. See, it's pointing up. And that teeny part right there where the carrot is overlapping, it is in front of his head. I'm going to erase that line so you can't see it anymore. I can add my eyes. And I don't have to fill those in because I can go back and do that later with my marker. It's time to trace. And then finally, if you'd like to, you can add a small bump down here for a horizon line. This will stay snow. That would make this the sky. And you can add some snowflakes if you'd like. Snowflakes have 6 sides to them. On the instruction sheet, they show you 8-sided snowflakes. You could do that if you want to. But snowflakes really have 6 sides. Now that I'm done drawing my snowman with my pencil, I'm going to do my second step where I use my skinny marker to trace all of my pencil lines. I finished tracing my pencil lines on my snowman, and it did take me about 5 minutes. Now it's time for me to go back and look, because anything I didn't cover up and trace, I need to go in and erase. I've finished erasing the pencil lines that were still showing, and now I'm ready for my third step. My third step is to use crayons, colored pencils, and markers to add color. Now here's the beautiful thing, my friends, about this assignment. The snowman, he gets to stay white. The snow gets to stay white. So all you have to color on this would be the buttons, any decorations you added, the carrot, the sky, and the arms. We've already learned how to use our tools. So use the tools that work for you. Use the tools that you have to color. Remember, good art takes time. I'm going to color my snowman, and then I'll be right back. I finished coloring my snowman. It took me about 10 to 15 minutes. And I just wanted to point out what tools I used, because we've talked about tools. I used crayon for the sky because the sky is big. I used colored pencils for the buttons because they're pretty small. And then I used marker for the sticks, the scarf, the carrot nose, and the band. Oh, and the hat was crayon also. So here is my snowman. I used perspective to draw him so it gives you a worm's eye view, looking from the bottom up to the top. I will see you later, my friends.